Hi friends, welcome back to
Wish You Love Podcast.
I'm Marilyn.
And I'm Jasmine.
And thank you so much for clicking on this video.
If you haven't already, make sure you check out our last 2 episodes. This month has been all about New Year's resolutions, goals, and themes for this 2025. So we have a theme going on this month, so make sure that you tune in to both episodes. And thank you for tuning in to today's episode where we will kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, remember, we're doing bi-weekly episodes in this new year. So you will be seeing a new episode from us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, but every other week on Wednesdays. So Thank you so much for staying with us and with our new change for the new year. Thank you.
And with that, we're going to jump into today's opener. Today's opener question is, what are our ins and outs of the month? So Marilyn's going to kick us off with her in.
So if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see my ins. These are things I got from actually my mother for my birthday. This is my first time ever getting makeup from Gwen Stefani's line, and I've always wanted to try it out because it looks like really nice, but I've never had it. So my mom got me a lipstick called Tomboy by Gwen Stefani, and it is really, really cute. And it even has something on the back that says me, you, yours. And it's really cute. And the shade is really nice. So I use a nice dark liner from Beauty Creations, and then I'll put this in the middle, and it looks beautiful. So I highly recommend this, because when I had first looked at the shade, I was like, I don't know if this is going to look good with my skin color, but it does. So yeah, highly recommend that. And so my other in is Rare Beauty. So another brand that I had never bought in from, but now I got it for my birthday, but you can't really see it on camera. I think it's too bright. Or lights, but yeah, so this is a foundation, and so it's kind of like a powder foundation, and it was really nice. I think this is going to be perfect for work where it's not very oily. I feel like the foundation has been pretty oily on me lately, especially the Ariana Grande one. That's the one I've been using for work, and I use today, but it's not really hitting. I don't really like that foundation. And also I got a mascara from Rare Beauty, and I really like the applicant. It's really, really nice and fluffy. And I think that this was a really good buy. And then last but certainly not least, my favorite part is the blush from Rare Beauty. And it was a nice hot pink, not hot pink. I would think a purplish pink blush. And it's kind of like a maybe magenta. You can see it on the camera, but it's in the shade Truth. So I highly recommend this. It came off really pigmented, but I noticed that it kind of wears off over time, so you kind of have to reapply. But I think it's because it blends so well into your foundation. But I still highly recommend because I like the color that it gives, and it's really cute. So those are my ins in makeup right now.
Love that. I like that yours is makeup. My ends right now is Christian music.
Nice.
So if you guys tuned into the last episode, I shared with you guys Forrest Frank being my person of the month, of who I dedicated song and music. And so, yeah, that's basically kind of my end for this month. I've really been playing him and other artists as I continue to listen to songs that I'm interested in. I know, Marilyn, you shared a playlist with me too.
Yeah, that's right.
So as I listen and as I pick up songs where I really feel it or I love it, then I just start adding it to a playlist. But that's kind of been my thing to listen to when I hop on the car. I just go straight to that.
And just put shuffle. That's nice.
Yeah.
I love that. That's also really positive to listen to in the morning. Or I like to listen to Christian music when I'm showering because it's really peaceful, you know? So yeah, that's a really good in.
Yeah.
As for my out is worrying about the future. So I was telling Jasmine some personal stuff that's going on in my life right now, and I'll probably share with you guys when it actually happens. But there's a lot of things happening in I feel like everybody has these every month or every week, something new happens where you get anxiety and you work yourself up about something that's possibly going to happen. But then sometimes it never even happens. Or you're like, wow, I worried about that for no freaking reason. I have an example. I had such bad anxiety in like a few months ago about my schedule for work, and then it all worked out exactly how I had prayed for it. And I was like, wow, all of that stress in my shoulders, that clenching of the jaw, the anxiety of the heart palpitating was for nothing. It all worked out in the end. So I'm just realizing like I need to stop worrying about the future. If it's something that I feel myself like tensing up about and like, or like my heart is beating, I'm like, think about it later. Why are you worrying about it? What if it works out in your favor? And if it doesn't, then worry about it then. Yeah. So that's like been my out, because as planners, I don't know about you, but I tend to worry about stuff in the future, and I'm kind of trying to stop that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's natural.
But don't worry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. For me, I think my out is not overworking myself too much.
That's a good one.
I think as you guys, I talked about it on the first episode this year. At one point I was working 7 days a week, and it was just a lot. It was a lot, and it started making me, very exhausted. Found myself being very, very exhausted 24/7. And so being able to just cut that back down and just kind of reminding myself like to take my mental health days off my 9 to 5, which I can, right? I am very blessed to be somewhere where I can take mental health days off and they're not going to get mad at me or anything.
Good.
And I think also I have the ability now to kind of continue to practice that as well with my second job, where even though I'm only working there once a week now, if I feel like my 9 to 5 was already heavy, I'm okay to start, that's my out. Like I don't need to come work that one day. Like I could just put that shift out and see if anyone else wants to pick it up and they can grab it. So really practicing that, like not overwhelming myself too much.
Listening to your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like today, I'm going to just rest. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to turn on a movie or a TV show. Just rest.
Yeah.
It's so important. And I think a lot of people that are not like our personality rest all the time. But when you have our personality of like, we're always trying to like do something, of like progressing in work, or like trying to save money, so you work more for the money, or I think like that, like to the point of like working yourself to the bone, and it's like not healthy. Yeah. And then you start at ground one because you're like, oh, now I need to take a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the burnout.
Yeah.
Not good. Yeah, that's a good out though.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
So this is the new year. We're still in January. This is our last January episode. And so we were talking about, our new year and our theme for the new year and all that good stuff. So last week we had talked about living our most fulfilling life and like how that was my theme. And so now Jazmine is going to give us her theme for the new year and something that she is living by. And hopefully this can inspire you of how to move forward as the months come along in 2025.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start off with background and story of how this theme came into my mind. And then I have it written down on my phone. I will share with you guys. Quick background. There is a girl whom I met through Angel's sister and husband. So I feel like constantly meeting people through other people, and then we become friends and whatnot. But I met a girl. So she is Angel's, like I said, sister and her husband's friends. Okay. And then I met them through them. Like we all went on a triple date, and I really kicked it off with her. Like I was like, oh, I really like her. She's so sweet. She's so nice. She has a really funny personality, very direct. She's not dry. Like she'll let you know if she doesn't like you, like straight up. Like, yeah, she's very, but she's also like, I can deal with different personalities, so it doesn't like bother me. Like I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's your vibe. But anyways, we started becoming friends, and we had hung out with Angel's sister, like those friends. Like it was always like the mutual us three. It was always, that's the vibe. Every time I saw her, it was usually between us three. And in December, the day after Christmas, actually, I took the day off because she lives in Santa Clarita. So it's kind of hard. I personally don't really like driving that far. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like it's going to be hard to meet because it's kind of a distance. So luckily, she was already down here for Christmas. So she messaged me and she was like, hey, I came down for my mom's. I'm only like 15 minutes from you. Like, let's meet up so that we can hang out. And this was our first time like hanging out, just her and outside from that group. But I was like, yeah, like, why not? Like, let's do it. Like, we've never done it. You're local. It's been a while. I think the last time I saw her was at my engagement party. Oh, wow. And even then, like, I was too busy. There's a lot of people for me to just give attention and talk. So I was like, yeah, let's go. So anyways, we move forward to that day after Christmas. We end up going to go get brunch. And we're sitting down and we're just kind of catching up on like what we're up to in life. And like her birthday was like a couple days after that day. So we're talking about like what she was going to do for her birthday and everything. And somehow we start talking about, she starts sharing with me this experience she had with one of her husband's friend's girlfriend. And how she was just not a vibe of her at all. Like, just, they didn't click. And part of it was, I guess, because of the girl. She was very, what is the right word? Like, insensitive with what she was saying. Or, like things would come out of her mouth that without it's kind of like, you're not really supposed to say those things, you know?
Like rude.
Yeah, I guess, like rude. Like, I mean, I'm not going to out her out like that. But I know, like, one of the things, I guess, was, like, she was saying that she doesn't like to visit her boyfriend because he lives in a ghetto city or something like that. But, like, you know, just stuff like that. You don't really say that. And, like, you know, be mindful. You, like she said, you don't really say that on the first meetup. Like, you don't know this girl. You don't know me. Like, don't say insensitive stuff. And she started talking about, like, I guess, race, and just, it was just not a good meetup. Yeah, overall. Like, she just did not like the vibe at all. And she said something that really, because I was like, oh my God, like, we were kind of like laughing about it, because she's like, can you believe she said this? And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I wouldn't say that. And she's like, yeah, I wouldn't either. And like, how how much of a bubble can you live in to say these types of things in this era, and like on the first meetup, and etc. And I was like, yeah, like, that's wild. And she says this, and she's also a psychologist major, by the way. So it's always fun. I love talking to people who study psychology, because I feel like they also have some sort of wisdom to always share of what they learn, and like, just like about people and whatnot. And so she starts talking about how everyone has a face, and you decide what face you want to put on and what you want to show to the world. And she was just saying how, like, in that situation with that person, the face she showed to her was enough for her to say, enough for my friend to say, like, I don't fuck with you. Like, I don't like you. Like, I don't know if this is your everyday face or you just did it today. You were trying to be funny. I'm not sure. But it was just something that I, you know, don't really like. And so she was just saying how, like, in her particular life, especially with her being, I think also she turned like she turned 32 or something. So we're at like older age where she was like, I don't have time for people that don't match my vibe, and where their face isn't something I want to see, that I'm proud of to be with, or to say, like, this is my friend, or I like you, let's hang out. And so it really, really stood out to me. And so the overall concept of, we wake up every day ready to put on a face to the world. What's your face? How do you want to show up? And so that just like really sparked something in me, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, that is so true. Like, 2025, lots of fun things happening, lots of good things that are coming. But at the same time, what is the face I want to put out as a bride? What is the face I want to put out as a friend? What is the, like, who do I want to show up with? And every little detail does matter. And I was like thinking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, when she said just that we have the choice to put on a face. Which face is it that you want to put out? I was just really thinking about, like, even like my goals. Like, I'm like, oh, like, something as silly as like my skincare routine, like, that's the face I want to put out 2025. Like, I want to be able to have a glossy face that I'm proud of, where people can be like, wow, I like your skin. Like, that's so nice. Like, what's your routine? Like, that's part of the face I want to put out, where I can feel confident and I can be like, wow, like I want that to be something people notice. Or, you know, now that I possibly, whether I do LASIK or contacts, going back to my goals, like I want to be able for people to view my eyes again and be like, wow, you have really pretty eyes. Because although my glasses are cute, and yes, I will probably still wear them here and there, I think also it kind of covers like a little bit of my eyes. And so just little things are what I kind of want to change and put a face out. I want to, you know, when I go into work, like the way I dress or the way I talk, like that has to be like, what is the face I want to put out to work when they see me? We've talked about it before.
Yeah,
like,
we have.
Is it like, oh, she's just like a young girl? Or is it like, wow, she's ready to take on the next position or take on, like, she's dressed for management or to be like that.
Exactly.
So every little decision, I think, has a face, and it'll all tie back your personality. Like I said, as a bride, I think oftentimes, like, what do they say? Like, you could be a bridezilla. Like, is that the face I want to put out for people to be like, wow, she's crazy. She's a brat or like this and that. Like, that's not what I want. My faith, as I continue to grow into my faith this year, like, I don't want to go around saying you should preach God, or, you know, I want to live a life where I don't need to say anything. My face and who I show up will represent that itself, like with how I am.
Period.
And so, yeah, that is kind of the message I wanted to bring today. Like, just that is my theme for 2025. I want to be very mindful and very, I guess, kind of plan and make that my theme with every month and decision that I make. I don't want to speak it. I just want my face to show it. I want to show up and let everything speak for itself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I encourage you guys to, again, really think about, we wake up every day ready to put a face to the world, to strangers, to people that we know, that we love, our parents, friends who have known us for a while. But what's your face? Like, how do you want to show up, and how do you want them to see your face? Period. And to say, that is the face I want to see and that I want to socialize with. So, yeah, that is my message for today's episode.
Very good message. I was really trying to soak it up and like think hard of like, I want it to impact me too. And I hope it's impacting y'all who are listening to the podcast, because it really is such a thought. It makes me think of so many things. First, I will talk about, I had heard, I think it was Joel Osteen, or it might have been my pastor, I can't remember, but they were saying something like pretty much exactly like what you were saying of like, yeah, oh, I think it was my pastor. He said, yeah, you can say you're Christian, but like, do people know that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when they meet you, do they know, like, do you represent what you believe? Type of thing. And that's kind of like your face, right? And I really like that, because they were like, if you go into a room of people, will they know you're Christian? Will they know that you believe in Jesus and stuff like that? And so I really thought of that, and I was like, that is so true. And I'm very much like a person of representation. I was a cheerleader representing my school. You guys know, like, even my university, like I represent my university, even like Harry Potter. I love my Hufflepuff gear and stuff like that. And that's why for Christmas, I had asked Anthony for a gold pendant of Jesus to add to my gold chain. And I have it right here, just like representing him, because I think it is so important. Like, your representation of like what you bring, like you said, literally could be physically what you wear on your body, or it could be like personality, like what are you talking about? It could be like, what are you doing in your life? You know what I mean? Like, it is so important to be intentional, because like, what are you bringing to the table? Like, what kind of personality, or what are you bringing to the function? Like, are you bringing like an opened can bottle, or are you bringing a brand new bag of stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I really like that message, and it made me think of like how to, you know, even be a better version of myself, and like making sure that I always put my best foot forward and stuff. But it's definitely something to think about. I mean, I'm still like pondering on the idea of like, what face do I bring to people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good too. Like, it really made me think, like, and I was going to ask her too, but it was our first time hanging out.
Right.
So it was like, we just got like
nice.
so into the conversation. Like, one thing led to another, to another, to another. And it was so beautiful. But I was even going to ask, like, so what face do I bring to you? Like, how do you view me?
Because she's a new person. So it's
But it's like very interesting, I think, also to take that time to reflect and think exactly what you said. Like, like when I go to work, like, how do they view me? Like, and how can I either like continue that or upgrade that or change for better? Or like, same thing, like when I put my girlfriends together and when they see me, like, how do they view me? Like, what do I bring good things to the table? Like, is my face like, so it really like is good to just reflect that part too.
Right.
Like, think about the people around you and I don't know, how would you want them to view you?
Yeah.
And are you representing that with the way that you talk, the way that you walk, the way you dress, the way, because I think also, like, I just thought about this right now, like, social media is so easy to fool people.
Right.
Like, I know, like, people will post all the time, like, you know, I'm eating healthy or I'm this, but like when you really hang out with them, like, is that real? You know what I mean? Like, if it's far more than like just posting or just like really walk your walk and talk your talk. Like, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking it's also hard to change your face. I was thinking of on my birthday, there was, okay. I don't think I'll like actually explain the situation, but it would make sense if you knew the full thing. But pretty much, actually, I'll just tell you guys. So, and I think this is important because it was a moment of me being angry. So when I'm angry, I can't hide my face. Like, I'm not going to cuss you out. I'm not going to say anything to you, but my face says everything I'm thinking, and I can't handle it. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to make you feel guilty. I don't want to make you feel like bad, but dude, my face, like, even Anthony, one time, this is another example. One time we went to like this Hawaiian place that we really like where we go, and I was starving that day, and I was like, all I was looking forward to was the tofu, the fried katsu tofu. I went there, no tofu. Their thing was like broken or something. And my face, I'm not mad at the person. I'm just upset at the situation. And my face, I can't even replicate it. But Anthony told me, he's like, oh my God, Marilyn, like, poor guy. Like, you made him feel so bad. And it's not anything I said, but it was my face. And it's hard to change your face. Another example of like a similar thing is like on my birthday, I told my dad, like, hey, make a reservation for this place. I even sent the phone number. I'm the type of person, because I was like already out celebrating my birthday with my mom. And so I'm the type of person where I'm like, I'll give you literally the step by step on what to do, how many people. I even wrote out the list of people who's going to be there. I said, literally just call and make the reservation. My dad hearted it, thinking that he had done it because he hearted it. And I went about like I was at the Disney restaurant and stuff like that. So when we come out to the car, I'm like, all right, it's almost time for the reservation. My dad meets me outside and he says, so you got the reservation? And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you texted me, right? I said, yeah, it literally says word for word, can you please make a reservation? Here's the phone number and here's the list of people. And you hearted it. Mm-hmm. So what part of that was me making the reservation? So it was like him not paying attention and reading it. And I was very upset because one of my pet peeves is when I speak, listen to me. I don't like having to repeat myself. And so, of course, this was over text and stuff. But I was like upset. I'm like, what? I was so upset. And so my dad's like, oh, it'll be fine. We'll probably have to wait like 20, 30 minutes. Dude, it was 2-hour wait. We go all the way over there. It was a 2-hour wait. And my face, I couldn't hide that I was pissed. And I was like, my face was like eyebrows up, like angry. And like So I come out and I hold my tongue because I'm working on anger. I'm working on it. I'm not angry often, but when I am, it's bad. And so I was like I was just really mad, and I was like looking for my phone in my purse. I couldn't even think straight. And then here comes my dad with like his girlfriend and then her kids, and they come up to me and they're like saying like, oh, happy birthday. And they're like handing me a gift and stuff. And my brother and his girlfriend's there. And like my face, I look like a brat. I look pissed off. And I'm like, this is the worst time to come up to me right now because I seem ungrateful, like all this stuff.
And that's when you had to
change your face.
Because was that their first time meeting you?
I mean, I don't really know them, so I met them like only a certain amount of times, like two times maybe, and it was like passing. And I was so pissed that happened too. I was like,
because that's gonna be their like remembrance of you,
and like I'm like smiling, but you can tell it's not genuine.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm gonna be right back. And I went to my car to like try to make reservations somewhere else, and I was able to, and everything worked out. And it was the place I originally wanted to go to. I went to the other place because Anthony doesn't like Italian food, so I was over here trying to accommodate the other people, and like we ended up going exactly where I wanted to go. Long story short, it worked out in the end, and it's super hard to change your face. And even my dad, I had asked Anthony, he's like, "She's mad, isn't she?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." Because Anthony knows when I'm angry. But it's so hard to change your face. And that is something to like work on, especially when you're angry or even like when you're maybe sad and it's hard. You need to maybe show up for a friend. Maybe it's their birthday. It's so hard to change your face, but you gotta do it. Like you have to put your anger aside. You have to put your sadness aside sometimes because you know, like everyone's there to celebrate me, and like I need to be grateful. Like even though my dad messed up, it's okay. Like in the grand scheme of things, it all worked out in the end, again, of the worrying about things. And it's like, but it was so hard for me in the moment because I knew that it wasn't a good look on me to be like that because everyone is here trying to celebrate me, and I'm over here like angry because he misread the text, which is human. It happens, like, you know. So I wasn't going to tell you guys the whole story, but I hope nobody from that story listens to this podcast. But it's a real thing and it happens. And I hope my thing, listening to yours, I'm like, I really want to continue to shine like as a person of faith. Like I hope when people see me, they know that I'm walking that walk of faith. But as well, I pray that people will see me graceful, like a person of like, even when she's angry or things are messed up, that I won't show it. And that's really hard to do.
Yeah. So it's definitely a challenge. And I think, you know, we're all human beings, so we're not going to be perfect.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's
a thing.
It's not, perfection doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
And so reminding yourself that too, like it's okay if, you know, it slips or something happens.
Once in a while.
But practice it.
But
right?
That's what I was telling you. Remember how I told you I can be a real brat?
Yeah.
Like, I probably will be named Godzilla. Bridezilla. I probably will, honestly.
And that's on you, I guess. Like, that's on you on how you want, if that's what you want to be remembered as during this chapter of your life.
Exactly.
Then
that's the thing is like, no, of course, who wants to be that? You know?
Just, it's hard, but yeah.
It is hard.
Like, remembering, like, I can admit, and I'm going to share this, like, with my bridesmaids and stuff, like, I am learning that I am the type A bride. Like, I know what I want, and I have all my things written and ready, but I think also, like, I want you guys to know that of me, but then also, like, I don't know, like kind of what face, like, okay, I could be known as the type A bride, but maybe with grace still, or like with still happy with like the process and everything.
Yeah. And it's hard because it's important to like always put your best face forward. But then at the same time, I feel like we both struggle with perfectionism of being like perfect all the time. And that's something that, I mean, I don't know if you struggle with that. I struggle with that too. Because I mean, it's only human to get mad, to like want something to be perfect, but also controlling that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a fine line.
Yeah.
It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be upset, but
yeah, I think that's okay. Like, your feelings matter and you feel it for a reason. So you can't like just like dismiss like,
it's hard.
I'm mad. Like, I need to dismiss it. Like, no, you're mad, but just, I guess, how you deal with it and what you share with everyone else.
Yeah. And I think it's in steps too, because I think I came a long way from not like popping off at people. Mm-hmm. So like that was me showing restraint. Like me smiling and even though
saying I need to take a moment to go to the car.
I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah.
That was me showing restraint.
Yeah.
But I still like felt guilt because I'm like, oh, my dad's trying to celebrate me. Like, everyone's here.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing that everyone's here. You know, I could be alone on my birthday. Nobody could want to celebrate me. Yeah. So it's like always getting better, recognizing your growth, but also always getting better.
Yeah. 100%.
I wonder what people see from my face too.
Yeah.
Like when they first meet me. Mm-hmm. I think it depends on people's perception, because like people could see you as like, I get spoiled a lot, or like can see you as I don't know, like negative stuff sometimes.
I think I'd like to know, but not from like friends. Like, I wouldn't want to know yours.
Right.
I would want to know from strangers.
Right.
Or like people that have only met me
exactly.
Once,
yeah,
or
because
twice.
that's the face you're bringing. Like me, Angel, Ruda, they know you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they like know your real face.
Yeah.
But like, what's the face that you're bringing to work? Like,
and I think people who really know you, they'll understand
the face. Exactly.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, like I know, like I'm trying to be better, but I still put a brat face, but like I've come a long way, type of thing. So. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Yeah. But
I know. I hope I didn't make myself look like a brat telling that story.
No.
I'm sorry.
But
I prayed about it, though, I will say.
That's good.
Forgiveness.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is the overall message that I wanted to bring today for this episode. I hope you guys took something from it or made you kind of reflect. Like we talked about in the previous episode, Marilyn shared her theme for 2025. This is now my theme for 2025. So I hope that you take the time to really think about what your theme is going to be. Maybe one of ours inspires you and you take that with you, or maybe something else, is in your journey and that you want to theme it. So make sure to share with us so that we can, be in the loop of what your 2025 theme is. But before we close it off, I just want to repeat it one more time because, again, it was so impactful for me that I really want to share it. We wake up every day ready to put on a face to the world. What's your face? How do you want to show up? So.
Yeah, that's really good. What do you want to bring to the world? Like when they first meet you, like because there are some people where I meet them and off the bat, I'm like, oh my God, they were so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she was so sweet. Or like, oh, like, damn, like, wouldn't want to be around her too long,
Yeah.
But thank you so much for clicking on this episode. Happy January. It's our last January episode, and we will see you in February.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Let's get through 2025 and
strong.
Let's do this. So thank you guys so much. And above all else, we wish you love.
Bye, friends.